Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your 7-card draw. What do I need shadow read for this April 2022? I am your reader. Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. Professional witch, professional intuitive. President of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998. Author of Words of Grace. From Professional Witch, available in the description box, but also creator on Patreon. Patreon.com/Drawing the Circle. I am, after all, the Archangel of Lions. Mark Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Hey, fellow Earth signs. I'm a Virgo. I love my Capricorns. I really do. You're dependable AF. And I'm glad about it. So if you're new to the channel, a 7-card draw is just one card from 7 different decks, getting you clues, tips, and hints about a specific astrological timeline, in this case a waning moon timeline in April 2022. Let's have a look-see-duck-see. We're looking at the full moon in Libra, Saturday, March 16th, 2:54 p.m. Eastern Time. I am in New York. And do your magic the night before. You want Friday night. Waxing moon in Libra on a Friday is love magic, love magic, love magic, and the kind of love magic that you're watching YouTube videos for. Just saying. It's astrologically appropriate. Let's just say that. But then, of course, we're going to ring that bell, and then we've got 2 weeks of the waning moon, the letting go, the releasing, the forgiving, the alchemy, the surrendering, the letting go. Womp womp, but it is what it is. It is everything to its season, turn, as it were, to the new moon in Taurus, Saturday, April 30th. 4:27 p.m. And I say this, I think, every year at this time. That means if it's a new moon in Taurus, then it's a dark moon in Aries. 3 days before any new moon, it's in the sign before it. So before Taurus is Aries. Dark moon in Aries can be really tricky. Let's leave that there, shall we? Of course, you share horns in common with them, the Taurians, the Capricorns, and the Aries. So let's see what hits the table. It is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs. Your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs could have 4 different situations where you're letting go, releasing, doing the shadow work, right? Or there could be any combination of getting more points of view, more ways of looking at one particular one of import to you. So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. And I will get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can. I'm going to try and keep it light. Let's spill the tea with what's going on in the Ukraine. These are timed readings, not timeless readings. I'm allowed to do this, and I say so. With what's going on in the Ukraine and just the world in general. Any of us that are brave enough to do the shadow work within their own selves, it's the only place you can really, that is affecting the quantum unity of it all. And we're seeing a world possessed by the shadow. By the pain, by the emotional baggage. And I love Capricorns because you are slow and steady wins the race, but you get the job done. Anyway, that being said, let's do this, shall we? Both feet on the floor, and please take a nice deep breath. Not that we can't have fun with it. Let's see if we can have fun with it. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of the general assembly, the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, the spirit animals, the totems, and the pantheon of all pantheons, all traditions, lineages, and cultures for the Capricorn collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, watching this video, receiving this reading. What is the dominant 8th chakra archetype from the Caroline Myss archetype deck? Hovering over their heads, beaming down the patterning, shifting their electromagnetic fields in every other chakra about what they attract and repel, so that they can do the shadow work necessary to develop the soul power of the archetype, a reason, a season, or for the rest of their lifetimes, for this full to new April 2022, the magical child archetype, yay! Everybody has the child archetype. It's a survival family archetype. There are 9. The survival is the first one you learn about in Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Myss. That's MYSS, and she's a PhD. I love her. She's one of my 2 favorite teachers on planet Earth currently, alive, breathing. You know, we're going to go backwards in time. Let's not. So the child is the guardian of innocence and safety. When a child feels safe, it's up for everything. It doesn't feel safe, it's not up for anything. But the child has many sub-patterns to it. This is the magical child. There's the nature child, the divine child, the orphan child, the eternal child, and on and on and on and on. And so everybody has the child archetype because everybody was a child. Unless somehow you managed to walk-ins need not apply. That's a really old term. But the magical child, not everybody has. You do. The shadow attribute indicates the shadow work to be done, what you don't want to acknowledge within yourself, or if you do acknowledge it, you don't want anybody to know about it, so you keep it in the shadow. The light is what you're shooting for. Shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, right? The alchemy. Lead has 3 more atoms than gold, so you gotta lose 3 of them, waning moon, to get to the gold. So the shadow attribute. Pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles have been there. I have the magical child. Believing, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. And I am a Virgo. I learned that, I think, pretty early on, right? If you want to get something done, you got to do it, right? And whether it's manifestation, it's just not wishing upon a star. Because you can wish upon a star as much as you want. You'll still get beaten by people who took the time to put in the hard work. Terry Pratchett paraphrased. God bless and rest his soul. The light you are shooting for, which has a hidden blessing. That's the last card down, the blessed bee. We'll get more on this later. The light attribute. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things. Sacred beauty, that speaks to the divinity in all things, the sacred beauty. So that's pretty powerful. The belief that everything is possible. Now, we're earth signs. Everything is possible. I cannot snap my fingers at this point and turn into, I always go for Nell Carter just because biologically it's such an exact opposite of body type and gender, I mean the whole 9. But it's like, that's not even probable, right? So possible and probable, but seeing that from the eyes of an innocent child, right? That the dreams you have, you know, the things that you want, the magic, the change that you want in your life, and so that you can believe in miracles and that all things are possible. Excuse me, my right contact lens needs arbitration. There we go. Sort of. Probably a chunk of mascara. You'll never find me on camera, at least on YouTube, without mascara. You can't see your eyelashes. That's not great. That's something I can do something about. Grant me the courage to accept the things I can. Sorry. Trying to keep it light, folks. Well, we got a magical child. I have a magical child, so let's have at it. The next 4 chakras down, of course, affected by what's going on. When the magical child pattern program is running, you could say, is your inside world, your feminine energy, your yin dynamic, spiritual power, mental power, willpower, emotional power, the world behind your eyes. So we're using Daughters of the Moon Tarot, a feminist deck for feminine energy. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon my goddesses of earth, the sign of Capricorn's powers of the north. Please, 1 card in clarity for my beloved Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What do they need to be aware of in the inside world? They may not share it with anybody, but it is heart, third eye, crown, 2nd level of power. Throat chakra is always about the choice to do the shadow work or not. So this is where the shadow work begins. So please, what do they need to be aware of? The magical child in the 8th, heart, third eye, crown. Whoop. This full to new, April 2022. Excellent! 9 of Pentacles, Malama. You're good. You're solid. But when it's internal, heart, third eye, crown, this ain't about money. This is about the wealth of wisdom inside of you. You're not at the 10. But you're PDS, pretty damn stable, right? 3 threes, that's 3 tripods. You could probably support anything with 3 tripods. So this is a stable, wise child. Now, look, I don't read for literal children, right? It's just, I don't, or I don't. It's like, I don't want to. It just feels like, not my gig. But to do the inner child work, which to me, inner child work has such a weird rap because what the ego did with it over a period of decades. If you go back to John Bradshaw, Homecoming, that's where I first came across it. Thank you, Oprah. But of course, it's been parodied. Stuart Smalley of the Yin Yang and all of that. I think it is one of the most potent forms of shadow work available. By the way, there's a link in the description box to, I keep forgetting to say this, but you can't say everything every time, I guess. There's a movie, a YouTube link called The Shadow Effect, featuring Debbie Ford, no longer with us, but really amazing. It's like The Secret. It's very well produced. An Earthside would appreciate that, right? Watch it if you haven't, and even if you've seen it before, see it again, because this is about your innocence and your magic. And you really need the magical child, or at least the child within you, to sort of believe in this stuff to an extent, because that opens the heart, and that's where the divine power is. Love is divine power. Heart chakra, anatomy of the spirit, Carolyn Mace. We lower 3 chakras, the masculine energy, popping out, looking at yourself horizontally, maybe from the inside, looking out at a person, place, or thing. Lower 3 chakra dynamic, root chakra, groups, tribes, 3 or more people, and you're in way more tribes than you realize once you start taking it into, you know, politics and genetics and nationality and like punk rock, new wave, jazz, right? You know, it's like, oh, I looked at all these tribes. Second chakra is one-on-one umbilical cord type relationship, your relationship to another person or thing. That's why you'll often see money, sex, power associated with second chakra. The sex makes sense, but money is one energy field, right? Or it can be a substance, right? Your relationship to a literal thing. Solar plexus, your relationship to yourself in the world, right? What you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't, your personal power, your honor code, your intuition that only you get, right? You get a hit here and you start asking other people about it, that's going to get wibbly wobbly. That intuition's just for you to digest. Look where it is, right? So let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call to the gods of Earth, the sign of Capricorn, powers of the North, please. 1 card in clarity for the Capricorn Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemizing the magical child with Malama, 9 of Pentacles, nice solid foundation in there. Heart, third eye, crown, real strong wisdom gained here. So what do you got for them? What's going on outside, looking in, lower 3 chakra, inside, looking out, relationships in the physical world for them, help them. What do they need to know? This full to new April 2022, the devil. The devil, which I'm going to say because of the magical child, are probably chains of fear. Now, this could certainly manifest itself as a person, place, thing, situation, event, but something where there are chains. Now, the beauty here is that you've got 9 of Pentacles on the inside. So I would say in terms of dependency, because you'll see codependence and addiction, and certainly a magical child in the shadow. You know, what is it, cookies? What's the external form, right? The chains that bind. But to break chains of illusion and set all things to right, to reveal what has been hidden and bring the truth to light. That's shadow work. That's shadow work. And there are certain chains only we can break ourselves, right? With the help of the divine. Never try and do it yourself, right? But that's a mystic for you. But for a magical child, I really feel like that there is an opportunity. Remember, it's not the end of the major arcana. It's just the devil. It's facing your fears. It is the shadow work. And by the way, in this deck, it's Pan. Pan is one of my gods. Woo! Satyr god. Hot. Goat-footed, but hot. And you know what? That archetype of goat, boy, are you kidding me? They're everywhere on Long Island, or at least they were before the pandemic. I haven't really been out much, right? Right? So this could be all sorts of different things in a general read. That's why if you ever want a private reading, there's always a link in my description box. Booking your reading with Mal. A YouTube vid explains it all for you, just like Clarissa. Let's move on. All right. The first of 3 Bookie Book reads, the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. Highly recommend it. I've done all of these mantras over the past 2 years, more than a couple of times. So let's see what hits the table. We've got an interesting alignment here. This could also be dealing with a toxic person, right? Someone in chains of some kind. But with that magical child, that innocence, that's the kind of thing that could stand up to that kind of thing, particularly with that 9 of Pentacles on the inner. Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the Ascended Masters General Assembly, and I say General Assembly because this could be about anything at this point, usually is at this point though. What's the perfect healing mantra for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading? To alchemize that magical child into a place of safety and innocence so they can do what they got to do, right, to survive. And with that 9 of Pentacles on the inner, feels so strong, so stable, right? Not quite at the 10, but almost there. Self-sufficient within. Sounds like a Capricorn to me. But with that Devil card on the outer, we know there's at least the element of fear as a common denominator there. The shadow, right? Totally a shadow card. The shadow card, if you want to go there, of the major arcana. So make it specific for them. So somebody goes... when they watch it, because I love when that happens. Makes me giggle. Please, for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, this full to new April 2022. I have to keep rambling until the card hits my hand. Celebrating simplicity. Celebrating simplicity. I am more fulfilled when there is less to manage and maintain. Makes sense. I'm just going to read it from the Bookie Book and get how this clicks together. Are you bound in a situation with just way too much going on? You probably are. You are, after all. Earth signs, celebrating simplicity. I am more fulfilled when there is less to manage and maintain. When there are fewer details to manage, you're able to receive more joy. Obviously, the more commitments that pile up in your life, the less likely you are to find the time to take everything in. Yeah, that's like over-scheduling your magical child with too much stuff. Doesn't have the chance to kind of take it all in, you know? Once all moving parts have been arranged, a proper working balance, simplicity can be celebrated, and you glean the most benefit from your reality. In other words, 10th house, Capricorn, there's a highest potential thing here for you. But the situation on the outside, you have what it takes inside of you to handle it. We always do, unless we're not quite there yet, right? It's a journey, hero's journey for all of us here. But there's also a piece of simplicity here. Let me get this last bit. This mantra is ideal for creating stronger boundaries, Capricorn. That's what you're good at. Seriously, that's not a read. Well, it is, but it's not shade. Yeah. Healing your inner people pleaser in a toxic situation, maybe a codependent thing with a family member, right? That could play itself out a lot of different ways. People pleasing is part of the codependent spiral. They call it a cycle, but it feels more like a spiral. And finding moments of serenity so that that child can feel safe. Totally be about really honoring your boundaries, because what you've got inside of you is really good and fertile. Malama, full-breasted, full gourd in her hand, right? all she needs is the falcon on her wrist, right? 9 of Pentacles. Okay. Again, this could be about anything. Family member, work situation, finances. This could be anything. So let's ask the higher selves of all involved. Now, if this is just you, it's your higher self message, but this could be for other people too, if there are other people involved. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. It's a call to the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. What is the whisper of love for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video? Receiving this reading, the piece of information, inspiration, insight needed for the shadow work to help them get the most, their highest potential out of this waning moon, alchemizing the magical child, 9 of Pentacles on the inner, Devil on the outer, celebrating simplicity. And I like that idea of them celebrating, and Capricorns do grow younger as they get older. So there's a part of that there. If you haven't heard that, look that up. What's the whisper of love? This full to new, April 2022. You are limitless. Magical child, you are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do. And you may temporarily or sporadically, reason, season, probably not all of your lifetime, have that pessimism. Well, come on. Okay. I'm definitely more of a Tigger archetype, because Tiggers are wonderful things. But Capricorns can be a little Eeyore. Like, I don't know that we could zodiac the entire the entire Pooh-verse. But certainly that magical child in you to maybe go a little Tigger. I'll have that song now stuck in my head the rest of the day, and I ain't mad about it. Oh, I am Leo rising. So you are limitless. You got a unicorn for a magical child. Are you getting younger as you get older? Oh my god, that's so Cap. Well, you are limitless. So whatever the situation is, of course there's fear that fear. You can't have a thought of lack without fear. You can't have a thought of fear without lack. Of Course in Miracles 101, seriously. So, there's some real healing here, but things need to be simplified. Of course you didn't. If you knew how to do it, you would have done it. It's a learning curve. You're limitless. You've got this. So, her next oracle, this is a Divine Animals Oracle by Stacy D'Amaco. It's a great book. The artwork is amazing. Because if you're going to do the shadow work, why not know who the spirit animals and totems that you already have with you are with you. But, sometimes we run with different packs, fly with different flocks. It could go on, I won't. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call to the pantheons of spirit animals and totems for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Watching this video, receiving this reading, who walks with them, who swims with them, who flies with them, who crawls with them, offering the guidance, grace, love, wisdom, and power that totems and spirit animals are all about, to help them do this alchemy into the magical child in the light, 9 of Pentacles on the inner, Devil on the outer, celebrating simplicity because they are limitless. This full to new April 2022. They were like, sooner rather than later on this one, and you... Nice beaver. Thanks, I just had it stuffed. Oh my god. I swear, it's because I have a Hermes statue right behind me every time I do this, and he whispers funny shit in my ear. Well, he doesn't need the statue. I opened right to the page. Oh my goodness gracious. I didn't even have to do math. Card number 27. Just going to read the verbal sketch and the part right before the end. The magic. I'm going to do some beaver magic. And this is so Capricorn. And what's the key word? Work! Work! Work. Breathe. Leave it to Beaver. Card number 27, Beaver. work. To love your work is a gift. Find a balance between work and rest. It is worth aligning your work with your purpose if you can. Higher purpose, 10th house, Capricorn. Being positively, mindfully engaged in your work, no matter what it might be, is healthy. Someone may be attempting to micromanage you at your job, and this is not an optimum way to work. Perhaps it is time to be your own boss. Now, I happen to know lots of Capricorns who are their own bosses, self-employed. It seems to be an earth sign thing, at least those that have crossed my path. But it is cardinal earth, Capricorn. There's cardinal fixed, mutable. Capricorns are the cardinal, blah, blah, blah. So this is about something that you are building, that you are creating, but don't forget the wisdom that you have here. Just simplify this for yourself, and it might even start on a more mental, spiritual way at first. See it from a higher place if you can, because that's the hero's journey. Let me read you some beaver magic. Oh my God, shades of Doug Henning. When you find it hard to motivate yourself, or when things are not working out with your career or work situation, beaver energy can help. When you need help finishing a physical project or attracting good craftspeople, call upon beaver magic to exist. Now, the reason I'm laughing is because it is quite literally cardinal earth, creative earth. Beavers take stones and wood and build dams, right, and live in them, and it's a multifunctional amphibian environment, right, by instinct. So though it's not that idea of the goat going up the mountain one step at a time, so instead he wins the race, a dam ain't built overnight. I have to say it. Do you give a damn? Well, you should, because there's some work here for you. Now look, yes, it's a shadow work read, but with that Nine of Pentacles on the inner and celebrating simplicity, a magical child in a toxic work environment, it's not great, but it's a magical child, right? It's like they are able to access a magic that other archetypes can't. That was good. Okay, last card down. Like I said, in this light is gold, right? So there's a hidden blessing here. So we're going to use the Blessed Be, the mystical Celtic blessing cards to enrich and empower, but we're calling in all of the pantheons to get this. So we cross every T, we dot every I, and excuse me, I'm keeping my eye because there are two of my cats at the dry food bowl right there. This is where stuff usually gets knocked over. Boys, behave. Motherhood never ends. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the pantheons of all pantheons, all traditions, lineages, and cultures, please, what is the hidden blessing? Please leave the card in my hand for the Capricorn Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading so that they can do the shadow work to get into that magical child light attributes of seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things. That takes a pretty high altitude to get there, from the mountaintop perhaps. And the belief that everything is possible with that Nine of Pentacles, Malama, that richness, but that strength, that wisdom inside of them. Really the best placement they could have there, considering, well, aside maybe from the Sun card, we've got the Devil on the outer. So there's something constraining them. Fear, yes, ultimately, in the metaphysical, mental, emotional sense, but in the physical world, maybe there are some real toxic situations going on here. But for them to work the mantra, to help them celebrate simplicity, I'm more fulfilled when there's less to manage and maintain, then shadow work seems like the natural process in some way, shape, or form, however they choose to do it, because they are limitless. They just need to acknowledge that truth, that they can do anything they choose to do, but it's going to take work, and maybe this is about work, but it is a slow and steady wins the race process for sure with that beaver energy, and just maybe even getting through it, making it work, and doing the shadow work indicated as well. Let's say they do that. Let's say they go about this the best way that they possibly can. Even if not, if they're just willing. What is the hidden blessing, the gold within the lead for the Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, this full to new April 2022? A blessing for a fresh start. A blessing for a fresh start. A blessing for a fresh start. Because you'll have more fulfillment when there's less to manage and maintain. This could be you in chains, just like I want to, but we do the blessings here for realsies on Joining the Circles YouTube channel and elsewhere. I mean, look, she got a broom, she got a raven, she's got a kick-ass cloak. She is sweeping ass and taking names. Number 34, I love this entire publishing company. Should I ever decide to put out a divination system, I would probably reach out to them first, but I'd rather them reach out to me. A blessing for a new, a fresh start. Please take a nice deep breath. Try and keep it light. Still point. Say it through me, Pantheons of the Divine. Card number 34. A blessing for a fresh start. A blessing for when we must begin a part or even a great deal of our lives anew. A blessing upon you as you strike out from the familiar place which, for all its troubles, was a place you knew. This really feels like someone's leaving a job. May the uncertainty which surrounds you and the fear of what may come be quelled as you bravely take those first steps and begin to create the new life which was always yours. For destiny would have this so. Talking divine plan stuff here. You may find comfort in the ease with which you find yourself embracing the new, and may the loneliness you encounter become more akin to solitude, a time of re-knowing your own self, as the world no longer can tell you who you are over and over and over again. May the breaking free of what tethered you renew your strength. May the breaking free of what tethered you renew your strength. And as you tremble from time to time, wondering if you ought to have stayed within the cage, know you are being watched over and encouraged by divine ones who wish you all the blessings of the world. May you embrace the differences, adapt and explore who you are, and know that when you gave yourself this great chance, you offered yourself the great gift of recreation, of the transformation of self, of the realization of your own personal truth. May this fresh start be a blessing to you and give you the knowledge, the certain, unquestionable faith that you can break free of winter, magical child. That a springtime within your life has come through your own creation, and you have gathered up all the power you had and struck out far from the self and the ways you knew in order to be free. To be wild, to be wholly your own self once again. A blessing to you, child of the earth. Buy the book if you don't believe it says that. On this fresh start, which will come to you as soft as a flower breaking free of a bud, as strong as a butterfly emerging from the cocoon. There may be struggle within this shift, but no. Your every movement towards the new is divine, is noticed. is energetically supported with the blessings of all the wild world. For the wheel must turn, and every point on that wheel is a blessing. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. So mote it be. Blessed be, magical child. You've got what it takes inside of you to break free from the chains that bind. Celebrating simplicity. You'll get more fulfillment when there's less to manage and maintain, because you are limitless. You are limitless. And yes, there is work involved in all of it. Work situation, the work you got to do, the shadow work. But it is a blessing on a new start, which if you're going to plant seeds at the new moon, do it at a new moon in Taurus for life value, something you really value. What a Capricorn read. So did you like it? Like it, hit the thumbs up, help the other Capricorns find it. Do it for me, even though I'm a Virgo, right? Do you want more of me here on YouTube? Well then, subscribe is the usual thing people do, and I recommend hitting the notification bell because these things go out when they are ready. Why? Because I don't have to stay on that treadmill anymore. I don't work so hard. I work smart, but I also work hard on Patreon. Patreon.com/StarringTheCircle. I am, after all, the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Thank you so much for watching, and seriously, I always said I would marry a Capricorn, not that I'm going to, but I said if I had the choice, and it worked out, I would. Wishing you all the very, very best, and the very, very blessed, my beloved Cardinal Earth 10 Housers, highest potentials. Good luck with the shadow work. Reach out if you need a read. Al, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.